The moment the baggage carousel starts moving is when every traveler feels that familiar tightening in their chest. Because no matter how experienced you are, watching bags circle without seeing yours is never relaxing. Welcome back to the channel, travelers. And if you're new here, come in, take a breath, and let's talk honestly about travel. My name is Mila, and I've been a flight attendant for over 15 years, flying both domestic and international routes, spending more time in airports and baggage halls than most people spend in their own kitchens. I know that carousel anxiety well, and I see it every single day written across passengers' faces. That anxiety isn't just imagination anymore. In 2026, checking luggage has become a completely different game. The way airlines handle bags, the technology behind sorting systems, and the rules around responsibility have changed fast, especially in the last year and a half. I'm seeing more orphaned luggage, which is the industry term for bags that lose their connection to a flight, than at any other time in my career. This isn't because airports are careless. It's because systems are now almost fully automated, and automation has no patience for mistakes. Airports today rely on massive AI-driven sorting facilities. These machines are fast, efficient, and precise, but they don't think like people. Where a human scanner once made judgment calls, machines now follow instructions literally. That's why the first thing we need to talk about is something most travelers overlook: the ghost tag phenomenon. This has become the #1 cause of delayed and misrouted bags in 2026. If your suitcase still carries even one barcode from a previous trip, the system may read multiple destinations at the same time. When that happens, your bag is instantly sent to a manual resolution area, which sounds helpful but is actually where luggage goes to wait. Sometimes it waits for hours. Sometimes it waits long enough to miss your flight entirely. Before you even leave home, your suitcase needs to be a blank canvas. Every old sticker, handle tag, or barcode must be removed, including the tiny ones hidden near wheels and seams. If you don't, you're letting outdated data confuse a system that won't stop to question it. I've seen travelers forced to wear the same shirt for days because one forgotten sticker sent their bag on an unplanned adventure. Once your bag is clean, the next risk comes at the airport itself, especially with self-drop kiosks. Airlines now strongly encourage passengers to tag and drop bags themselves. While this saves staffing costs, it shifts responsibility onto you. When you use a self-drop machine, you must always print the physical receipt. Never rely on email confirmation alone. That printed receipt is legal proof the airline accepted your bag. Without it, if something goes wrong, the system may show no record of your luggage at all. Another reality of 2026 is insurance scrutiny. If your bag goes missing and you file a claim, insurers now demand proof of contents. That's why I recommend recording a short video the night before travel, showing exactly what you packed. This simple habit can be the difference between full reimbursement and a flat payout that doesn't come close to replacing what you lost. These changes might sound overwhelming, but they aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to prepare you. When you understand how the system works, you stop being at its mercy. And once you know what the machines look for, you can pack and check your bag in a way that lets it move smoothly through the system, right alongside you, instead of lagging behind somewhere you never planned to visit. Once you understand how unforgiving automated systems have become, the next thing to address is how airlines now protect themselves legally, often at your expense, if something goes wrong. This is where many travelers unknowingly put themselves at risk. In 2026, airlines increasingly rely on self-service technology, not just to save time, but to shift responsibility. When you hand your bag to a human agent, there is a clear chain of custody. When you use a self-drop kiosk, that chain becomes thinner, and one small decision can make a big difference later. After you tag your bag at a kiosk, the machine will often ask whether you want a printed receipt or an email confirmation. Always choose the printed receipt. This is not about preference, it's about protection. That small paper slip contains the bag tag number, which is the only identifier the global baggage tracking system truly recognizes. Emails can fail, land in spam folders, or never send due to system errors. I have personally seen passengers stand at baggage services insisting they checked a bag, only to be told the system shows no record. Without that paper receipt, proving otherwise becomes nearly impossible. Now let's talk about documentation, because insurance policies have quietly changed as well. If your bag is delayed, damaged, or lost, airlines no longer accept vague descriptions of what was inside. Claims are now reviewed by AI-driven systems that compare your report against statistical traveler profiles. If your claim seems inconsistent with your ticket type or destination, it gets flagged. This is why the video inventory method has become essential. The night before you travel, record a slow, clear video of everything you place inside your suitcase. Show brand labels, conditions, and quantities, then record yourself closing the bag. This creates high verification evidence that dramatically improves your chance of fair reimbursement. Another major shift involves suitcase construction. For years, hard-shell luggage was marketed as the safest option, but automation has changed that equation. Robotic loaders stack bags more tightly and apply far more pressure than human crews ever did. Cheap hard-shell suitcases often crack under that weight, especially in cold cargo holds. Once cracked, they lose integrity and may split open mid-journey. Soft-shell bags made of ballistic nylon or high-quality flexible polycarbonate handle compression better and are now more reliable in automated environments. Liquids present another hidden issue. While full-size toiletries are allowed in checked luggage, clustering them together creates dense blocks that trigger CT scanners. These scanners flag suspicious density patterns, which leads to manual inspections. When agents open bags, items often get repacked quickly and carelessly, increasing the risk of leaks. The solution is simple but effective. Spread liquids throughout the suitcase instead of grouping them together, and seal each bottle with plastic wrap under the cap to prevent pressure-related spills. Connection times are another area where reality has diverged from airline marketing. Websites may sell connections as short as 45 minutes, but baggage systems cannot move that fast reliably. In large hub airports, checked bags need time to travel miles of conveyor belts and sorting junctions. A 90-minute minimum connection is now the safest choice if you want your bag on the same plane as you. Finally, smart luggage requires special attention. Batteries must be removable and carried on board. In 2026, airlines increasingly verify this at bag drop. If the battery cannot be removed easily, the bag may be denied. Loose lithium batteries or vape devices should never be checked, as they trigger alarms that can result in bags being pulled or delayed. Each of these steps may seem small on its own, but together they create a system that works with automation instead of against it, giving your luggage the same chance of a smooth journey that you expect for yourself. Once you've protected your bag legally and structurally, the next thing to understand is visibility. In today's baggage systems, if a bag cannot be easily identified, it effectively becomes invisible. This is where many travelers still rely on outdated advice that no longer works in 2026. The classic ribbon on the handle trick is not just ineffective now, it can actually damage your bag. High-speed conveyor belts move fast and use mechanical diverters to redirect luggage. Loose ribbons, strings, or dangling tags can get caught, ripped off, or worse, jam the belt. When that happens, maintenance crews cut first and ask questions later. Your ribbon disappears, sometimes along with the handle it was tied to. Instead, your goal is controlled uniqueness. A brightly colored suitcase is the easiest solution. Red, teal, yellow, or patterned bags stand out instantly both to humans and cameras. If you already own a black bag, add a thick luggage strap in a bold color that wraps tightly around the case. These straps stay flush against the surface and won't snag. Stickers, paint markers, or even a distinctive fabric sleeve can help, as long as nothing flaps or dangles. When a bag loses its external tag, agents rely on visual descriptions. Black suitcase describes thousands. Neon green bag with a blue strap describes one. Visibility also needs to exist inside the bag. External tags are frequently torn off by rubber flaps and belt transitions. When that happens, the only way your bag gets reunited with you is if there's identifying information inside. Tape a sheet of paper to the top layer of clothing where it's immediately visible when the bag is opened. Include your full name, flight number, travel date, destination, phone number, and email. This single step can shorten recovery time from weeks to hours. Baggage agents actively look for internal ID, and when they find it, they prioritize those bags because the solution is clear. Now let's talk about wheels and straps, because mechanical damage is one of the most common causes of delayed luggage. Spinner wheels stick out and take the first hit during sorting. If a wheel is loose or cracked, it is far more likely to snap off when struck by a diverter arm. Before checking your bag, inspect every wheel. Tighten screws if possible and retire bags with unstable wheels. Dragging a three-wheeled suitcase through a city is miserable, and broken wheels are rarely compensated because they're classified as wear and tear. For duffels and backpacks, loose straps are dangerous. Long shoulder straps, compression straps, or hip belts can wrap around rollers and shut down belts. When that happens, the system may eject or damage the bag to keep operations moving. Use tape or wrap to secure every loose strap tightly against the body of the bag. It isn't pretty, but it prevents destruction. At the gate, another risk appears. Airlines increasingly ask for volunteers to gate check carry-ons. While this seems convenient, gate-checked bags often have weaker tracking records and are handled more roughly. They're rushed down jet bridges and loaded manually. If your carry-on contains electronics, fragile items, or valuables, do not volunteer unless you can remove those items first. Airlines are not liable for electronics in checked baggage, and gate-check damage claims are harder to prove. Finally, if your bag is delayed or lost, understand how compensation works. Airlines will often offer vouchers immediately. Accepting one may waive your right to cash reimbursement. The law allows reimbursement for reasonable expenses, not just courtesy kits. Buy necessities, keep receipts, and request reimbursement formally. Be polite but firm. Knowing the rules matters. All of this comes down to one principle. Automation rewards preparation. The more clearly your bag communicates what it is, where it belongs, and who owns it, the more likely it is to arrive exactly where you expect, right when you do. Once you understand how automation treats your bag, it becomes clear that timing matters just as much as preparation. One of the biggest mistakes I see travelers make in 2026 is trusting short connections simply because the airline sells them. A 45-minute layover might be legal on paper, but legality does not equal reality. A human can sprint between gates. A suitcase cannot. Bags travel through miles of conveyor belts, vertical lifts, scanners, and holding areas beneath the terminal. Every transfer adds time. If you are checking a bag through a large hub, anything under 90 minutes is a gamble, and the odds are not in your favor. When your bag misses a flight, it does not panic. It simply waits for the next available route, which might be hours later or the next day. Battery rules have also tightened, and this catches many travelers off guard. Smart luggage is still allowed, but only if the battery is removable. Airlines are now doing spot checks at bag drop, and if you cannot remove the battery easily, the bag may be denied. That means standing there repacking while the line grows behind you. All lithium batteries must travel in the cabin, never inside checked luggage. This includes spare power banks and forgotten vape devices. If scanners detect them, your bag may be opened, delayed, or left behind entirely. Color choice matters more than ever. Black suitcases dominate baggage systems, and when something goes wrong, black bags disappear into a sea of identical shapes. Bright colors aren't about style anymore, they're about recovery speed. When agents search warehouses, distinctive bags are found first. A bold strap or unusual color can cut recovery time dramatically. Gate checking deserves extra caution. White-tagged bags often bypass full tracking systems and are handled by separate crews. They are more likely to be damaged or delayed, especially if loaded in a rush. If you must gate check, remove electronics and valuables first. Once the bag leaves your hands, protection drops sharply. If your bag is delayed, don't accept the first offer without thinking. Airlines often lead with vouchers because they're cheaper for them. Cash reimbursement for essentials is your right. Buy what you reasonably need, keep receipts, and submit a claim. The law supports you, but only if you ask correctly. Every one of these steps reduces friction between your bag and the machines moving it. When you give the system clarity, it rewards you with speed. When you rush or assume things will work out, the system doesn't compensate. It simply moves on. There is one final layer to checked luggage that most travelers never think about until something goes wrong, and that is documentation. In 2026, nearly all baggage claims are processed by algorithms before a human ever reads them. These systems look for inconsistencies, patterns, and probabilities, not personal stories. That means if your claim does not come with clear evidence, it will be reduced automatically. This is why the simple act of documenting your bag before you fly has become essential, not optional. The most effective method is a short video audit. The night before your trip, lay everything out and record a slow video showing what you are packing. Say what each item is and show its condition. Then film yourself placing the items into the suitcase and closing it. This creates a time-stamped record that proves ownership, condition, and value. If your bag is lost or arrives damaged, this video can bypass the automatic depreciation process that reduces payouts. Without proof, the system assumes items were old, generic, or low value. Receipts help, but few people keep them. Video evidence is far more powerful because it's difficult to falsify and easy for insurers to verify. When a claim includes video, it often skips multiple review layers. That means faster approval and higher reimbursement. Another overlooked detail is how liquids are packed. Checked bag scanners look for dense clusters that resemble shielded materials. When toiletries are packed together in one pouch, they form a single mass on the scan. That can trigger a manual inspection. When agents open bags in a hurry, items are often repacked poorly. This is why travelers arrive with shampoo-soaked clothes, spread liquids throughout the suitcase instead of clustering them. Also, place plastic wrap under bottle caps before sealing them to prevent leaks caused by pressure changes. Finally, understand how responsibility works. Airlines are liable up to a limit, but only if you follow procedure. If your bag is damaged or delayed, report it immediately at the airport before leaving. Waiting until you reach your hotel weakens your case. File the claim while the event is still active in their system. Prepared travelers don't just pack well. They document, distribute risk, and act quickly when something goes wrong. These steps aren't about paranoia. They're about adapting to a system that values data over explanations. When you provide clear evidence and follow process, the system works in your favor instead of against you. When you step back and look at all of this together, the pattern becomes very clear. Checking a bag in 2026 is no longer a casual decision. It is a handoff between you and a system that values clarity, consistency, and speed above everything else. The machines do not guess, forgive, or compensate for assumptions. They follow rules, and when travelers understand those rules, the experience becomes far less stressful. This is why preparation matters more than optimism. A clean suitcase without ghost tags tells the scanners exactly where your bag belongs. A printed receipt proves the airline accepted responsibility. A clearly identified interior label gives agents a fast solution when something goes wrong. A realistic connection time gives your bag enough runway to keep up with you. Each step removes friction, and fewer friction points mean fewer chances for your bag to fall out of the system. It also changes how you feel when you land. Instead of standing at the carousel with that tight feeling in your chest, you know you've done everything within your control. And if something still goes wrong, you're not helpless. You have documentation, you know the process, you understand your rights. That confidence shows when you speak to baggage agents, and it often changes how quickly problems are resolved. I want you to imagine your next trip. You land, stretch your legs, and walk toward baggage claim without rushing. You see your suitcase come down the belt exactly as expected, bright strap visible, wheels intact. You grab it, head for the exit, and your trip begins the way it should without damage control or emergency shopping runs. That outcome isn't luck. It's preparation aligning with a system that rewards it. Travel will never be completely risk-free, but it doesn't have to feel chaotic. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is reducing avoidable mistakes and understanding how the modern airline infrastructure actually works. When you do that, checking a bag becomes a calculated choice instead of a gamble. In the next video, I'll be breaking down how to survive long-haul economy flights in 2026, including circulation tips, sleep positioning, and simple comfort hacks that make a real difference. Until then, pack deliberately, label clearly, document wisely, and give your luggage the same attention you give your itinerary. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'm Mila, and I'll see you out there, somewhere between the jet bridge and the carousel. Safe travels.